Yeah. Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Christodon1, and I am back with another video, another live stream. We're going to be talking about what LeBron James said about Kyrie Irving in a recent tweet. Basically, someone tweeted a video of Kyrie Irving's jersey on the ground, and the bottom of the message says, you know what happens next, basically assuming that he was going to burn the jersey, but he didn't do that. He basically put a thank you note on Kyrie Irving's jersey, and I thought that was thoughtful. Clearly that's coming from a Cleveland Cavaliers fan that really do appreciate what Kyrie Irving did for the team, because they did capture a chip with Kyrie Irving. Okay, so in me in a nutshell, I thought that was showing that you support and you appreciate what Kyrie Irving did for your team. And LeBron James retweeted that video and also tweeted the following, that he supports this move. He's a real special kid. A lot of people try to say that he called Kyrie Irving a kid literally, but no, he's basically saying that he's a special player, a special talent, and he appreciated his time playing alongside Kyrie Irving. Okay, now last night I told you guys, ultimately this trade benefited both parties, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. I'm not going to go into full details about that trade. If you want to hear what I had to say, you can just go check out that video. But when you look at the trade itself, it shows on both ends how this trade is meaningful for both parties. Okay, now when you're talking about Kyrie Irving going to the Boston Celtics, that makes the Boston Celtics a much stronger foe. Okay, a much stronger team, and that's going to be the future. Okay, when it's all said and done with Cleveland, the Boston Celtics, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks, they're going to be the teams, including the 76ers. Those three teams are going to be contending teams fighting for the crown of the beast of the East. Okay, that's for the future, and somewhat for the now, the here and the now. When you look at the trade from the perspective of the Cleveland Cavaliers, a lot of people are now saying, including this morning, that somehow, some way, when they match up with Golden State, good morning, dude, how are you doing, man? Good morning, Black. Somehow, this move is going to mean that they're going to match up better with the Golden State Warriors. Okay, I feel like with this move, there's more. They may have addressed certain questions, but it presents more problems. Okay, now as far as the perimeter side of things, the perimeter defense, they can defend the Golden State Warriors a lot better with this new team. Okay. But when you're talking about what you're going to get on the post, what type of Christian Thompson you're going to get, because Christian Thompson in the last finals really didn't show you a lot. Okay, LeBron's salty about the trade. I really don't think so. Me personally, I feel like LeBron James should appreciate this trade, and this trade might intrigue LeBron James in signing another 2-year extension to the Cleveland Cavaliers, because the Cleveland Cavaliers address two things. They address their future. They have a draft pick, a future draft pick, and they address having more players to help LeBron James. Okay, so I think they answered both of their problems. But as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers matching up with the Golden State Warriors, the perimeter side of things, they match up a little bit better. However, what you're going to get on the low post, okay, what type of Christian Thompson you're going to get? Christian Thompson was more worried about and more concerned about Khloe Kardashian Snapchat, this, that, and the third. He really didn't have his mind focused on the finals. Now, I'm not saying those are the reasons why he had an awful, dreaded performance, because he contributed absolutely nothing to the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? The Golden State Warriors are pretty much having their way on the low post end, okay? They now pick up a player, AZ, from the Boston Celtics. He can contribute and help Christian Thompson down low if they have a big man roster, okay? With Crowder, he's clearly going to come off the bench, but he's also going to help LeBron James not only rest up, but also help him on the perimeter side of things. He's pretty decent as a shooter, but his real claim to fame is on the defensive end, okay? When you talk about Isaiah Thomas, a good guard can score. However, the same problems Boston Celtics had with Isaiah Thomas, those problems are going to be grandfathered in with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now teams are going to put a bigger defender on Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas has a hard time adjusting to that, okay? When Kyrie Irving matched up with Isaiah Thomas, he gave Isaiah Thomas nightmares, okay? And those same problems are they just pass from one organization to the other organization, okay? Derrick Rose, me personally, you're not going to get the Derrick Rose from the Chicago Bulls. You're not going to get that MVP type of performance. Basically, what I saw from Derrick Rose with the New York Knicks, I'm not too sure what ultimately the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get from Derrick Rose, okay? I think Derrick Rose did more harm than good to himself, signing a huge max contract. He thought he was going to get this offseason, but the things that transpired around Derrick Rose with the New York Knicks, it left a sour taste in a lot of owners' mouth. They're not too sure if Derrick Rose is really committed in basketball. Now, you have to understand Derrick Rose had a lot of stuff plaguing him, his family, as well as the rape case. I think that weighed heavily on him, and that's probably the reason why you didn't get a lot from Derrick Rose from the New York Knicks side of things. Plus, Phil Jackson was player of operations, and maybe he was attracted with Phil Jackson's scheme of things, but after he signed with Phil Jackson and started working alongside Phil Jackson, he saw a different image than what Phil Jackson was portraying to himself when Phil Jackson landed Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks. So a lot of those things could be contributing factors on why Derrick Rose's performance struggled a lot with the New York Knicks. Now, I feel like in summer camp, clearly Isaiah Thomas is going to be the one, okay? He's going to be the starting point guard. Now, if Derrick Rose really wants to get in the starting roster, the only position I can see him having a shot in, but he's going to struggle, is the 2 guard, okay? Now, I know a lot of people are, when I suggested this, when they signed Derrick Rose, I said that I can see Kyrie Irving at the 1, Derrick Rose at the 2. It's a smaller backcourt, but it's a good productive backcourt, okay? I can literally see that, okay? Now since Kyrie Irving is gone, there is an opportunity where he can get time at the 2 guard spot, but he's going to be fighting with J.R. Smith, okay? J.R. Smith is a streaky player. He's not the player of old of the Denver Nuggets. You're not going to get that type of player. You're not going to get the player that you got when he signed with the New York Knicks. You're going to get a player that's a lot older. He doesn't have a lot at his disposal other than his questionable quote-unquote three-point game, okay, which struggled a lot with the Golden State Warriors, okay? Those shots were not falling in. So you're getting a streaky type player from J.R. Smith. you don't know what you're going to get out of them. Okay, now ultimately, like I said, they address some problems, particularly with the Golden State Warriors. But then there's other problems. There are new problems that they're going to have to figure out along the way. Now, Kyrie Irving was a scorer, okay? Now, Kyrie Irving was also an ISO player, okay? So there's good and bad to this argument that I'm about to discuss. Having two ISO players on your team, it's really, you know, particularly when they desperately need the ball, it kind of hurts the rest of your roster, okay? So now having only one ISO player, which is LeBron James, and LeBron James, you know, he demands the ball, but in a certain way, not as a scorer type of situation, but to set up other players. Particularly the one scheme they constantly used with the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was give the ball to LeBron James. LeBron James just dribble it down the court, and LeBron James got some decisions to make: either run the offense or take it to the hole and either go for the slam or throw it to someone on his roster that is not guarded well. Okay, that is open. Okay, Tyronn Lue said in several articles that he's going to adapt the Golden State Warriors system where you have to play without the ball. Okay, so he's going to make a lot of set plays, a lot of set offensive style plays for the team benefit, not necessarily LeBron James. Okay, and LeBron James' style can fit with this type of scheme. And if LeBron James allowed this will make the chemistry of the team a lot better. And now you have a better optic on who's going to take the last shot, which that's another problem. It wasn't a problem when you had Kyrie Irving. It's now more so of a problem now because you really don't know who you're going to give it to, okay? You're really not sure. LeBron James can take it. I think LeBron James is going to he's going to have to really be a major player, a major contributor on the offensive end because you don't have Kyrie Irving. You don't have that luxury, okay? You can't necessarily say you're going to give it to Isaiah Thomas. You can't necessarily say you're going to give it to J.R. Smith because he's a streaky shooter, and you can't necessarily say you can always depend on Kevin Love. Kevin Love is a good shooter. However, there are certain spots on the floor where he's 100 in, and then there's other spots on the floor that is very questionable. Okay, so now with that problem, it makes it easier if you're a defender to defend the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? Last year was unexpected. You had Kyrie Irving, LeBron James. You didn't necessarily know which player to double team, okay? Because either of those players can blow up in a serious way. Now, how it's set and stated now, the only person that you really necessarily have to double up, sort of say, is LeBron James, okay? Isaiah Thomas, you can literally put a bigger player on Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas had a problem with that with the Boston Celtics, okay? So basically all you're doing is grandfathering in the problems the Celtics had with Isaiah Thomas when he matched up with a bigger defender, and now you have that problem. Because remember when Kyrie Irving was a bigger player, a taller player, and Isaiah Thomas had problems dealing with Kyrie Irving, okay? So the same can be said true for Isaiah Thomas as a Cleveland Cavalier player, okay? Not to mention, you're not too sure what you're going to get from Kevin Love. You're definitely not sure what you're going to get from Christian Thompson, which, by the way, love his talent. I love his skill, but I don't feel like I feel like he's an overpaid player, okay? And you really don't know what type of player you're going to get, okay? So there's questions down low that you're not too sure what you can get from Isaiah Thomas. But with AZ, you got him from the Boston Celtics. So that can be pretty much competition for Christian Thompson. And maybe Christian Thompson will, step up and be a better player because there's competition right behind him, okay, that pretty much wants his position, okay? So a lot of things, when you look at this trade as a whole, it addressed some questions that the Cleveland Cavaliers had with the Golden State Warriors. However, it presents other problems that's going to plague them along the way. When the games are tight and when the games are close, who is going to take that last shot? And I feel like LeBron James is going to get the last possession. Now, what does he do with that last possession is remain to be seen. I feel like LeBron James is going to have to utilize some effort and some energy on the offensive end because they're going to have to make up the points that they're missing from Kyrie Irving, okay? I feel like Derrick Rose can contribute some nights, some games. I feel like Isaiah Thomas can contribute some nights in some games. But when you play those other teams like the Golden State Warriors, which is only one Golden State Warriors, by the way, I feel like you're going to struggle. I feel like you're going to struggle with the San Antonio Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, the Milwaukee Bucks, because the Milwaukee Bucks are athletic, they're long, and they're going to present problems. They're a taller team, and they're going to present problems with a Derrick Rose and an Isaiah Thomas, okay? The 76ers, you're just going to have problems with those teams. Now, some people think that they're going to get Dwayne Wade, but me personally, like I said last night, I really don't see a scenario where Dwayne Wade wants to go to Cleveland. Now, Stephen A. Smith is reporting that, well, Dwayne Wade, if he accepts the buyout from Chicago Bulls, he can do a pit stop with the Cleveland Cavaliers to entertain getting another ring. But I feel like Dwayne Wade is settled in the championship and getting a ring. I really don't think Dwayne Wade is really that concerned for a ring. I think Dwayne Wade's main focus is to make up the missed opportunities that he didn't get in cashing in. Okay, he took a lot of pay cuts for the Miami Heat, and he's pretty much wanting to recoup some of that money, okay, with the Chicago Bulls. And it wouldn't surprise me none if he goes back to Miami, because out of the two teams, Cleveland and Miami can pay him the most. Plus, there's no state income tax there, okay? So that's even more money that he's going to make versus going to Cleveland, okay? I think Dwayne Wade is settled. He's situated. He's not necessarily worried about chasing ghosts, chasing Michael Jordan, okay? I think he's okay with his career. He's definitely going to the Basketball Hall of Fame. I think Dwayne Wade's future from here to now, when his career is over with, is he's trying to recoup the money that he lost from the Miami Heat. He can't get that money going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? Now, with this trade, these pieces may be attractive pieces, for LeBron James to ultimately sign another 2-year extension, okay? And they can build on top of this, okay? If they keep the draft pick, I think it's an 18 pick, I think it's the 18th pick, that's another future piece that they can develop when LeBron James is at the end of the road with his career. Now, one or two things are going to transpire at the end of the NBA season concerning LeBron James. If the season's over with, they have a successful season, if somehow, some way they win the championship, I can see LeBron James signing another extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they have a successful season, but they lose to the Golden State Warriors, then there's a problem, okay? I can see a scenario where he could go to the LA Lakers. But if he makes that decision, if he goes to the LA Lakers, then clearly this is not about chasing Michael Jordan, MJ, the greatest player of all time, the GOAT, chasing ghosts. If he goes to the Lakers, then this is clearly about solidifying his brand, solidifying his name, and going to the next phase of his life, which is ownership. This is clearly a move that if he goes to the Los Angeles Lakers, he knows at the end of the road, as far as his career with the Los Angeles Lakers go, and as far as basketball goes, then he can probably get a piece in the LA Lakers. He can be somewhat of an owner with the LA Lakers, a small minority owner, but he's still an owner. And this is going to be something that's I can see him selling that ownership right to the Lakers, back to the Lakers, when there's another opportunity of him being a minority owner, being the majority owner, so to say. Okay, like the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are for sale right now. Who's to say 3 or 4 years from now, if someone bids for the Brooklyn Nets now, who's to say if that individual is willing to fork over their ownership of the Brooklyn Nets to LeBron James when his playing career is done? You really don't know these situations, okay? I think he would love to own a stake of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but for that to happen, Dan Gilbert is pretty much have to sell the whole team to him. I don't see a scenario where him and Dan Gilbert owns the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't see a scenario like that. And I don't see LeBron James doing that, and I don't see Dan Gilbert doing that as well. So, we have to wait for this to play out. I think the move make them a better team, but I don't see this move propelling them over the Golden State Warriors. I feel like they can defend the Golden State Warriors a little bit better than the last finals, but you still have more problems, like who's going to take the last shot, who's going to make up the points that you're losing since you no longer have Kyrie Irving. It's going to prevent more problems that you have to have solutions for. Okay, and if Tyronn Lue is real committed about having a system, having a play style where you have to play without the ball, that's also beneficial, and it plays to the strengths of the Cleveland Cavaliers as of right now. So that's what's pretty much going on. LeBron James is pleased with your boy. He's happy with your boy. He's not hostile with Kyrie Irving. It is what it is. I think he showed tremendous class for Kyrie Irving going to the Boston Celtics. I think that's a good team, and that team is going to be contending for the East, and yes, an NBA title in the near foreseeable future, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks. And yes, the 76ers, I can see them, but they're not at the level right now to be concerned or worried about contending for NBA finals. But I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks are definitely going to the playoffs, and they're going to present a problem later on down the road for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which they already would have had problems with. The Cleveland Cavaliers have no solutions to the problems of the Milwaukee Bucks, okay? And, it is what it is. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe, please. Notification gang. Hit that notification icon, that notification bell, so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Kristen Down One. I'm out.